नमस्कार. आज आपण एक सुंदर अशी कविता पाहणार आहोत. लहानपणी आपण सगळेजण वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे खेळ खेळत होतो आणि त्यामध्ये वेगवेगळ्या वस्तूंचा वापर करत असतो. त्याला आपण खेळणी असं म्हणायचो. आणि आजची कवितासुद्धा अशीच टॉय या नावाची ही इंग्रजीमधील कविता आहे. आणि या कवितेचे कवी आहेत कॉव्हेंट्री पॅटमोर. Coventry Patmore became assistant in the printed book department of the British Museum and was later librarian there. His poetry was much admired by the pre-Raphaelites. The beauty and tenderness of the family life and the simple joys and sorrows of domestic situations are glorified in his best poems. He published collections such as The Angel in the House, The Unknown Eros. His poem Toy is from The Unknown Eros. It was inspired by a moment of anger caused by one of his sons. It shows our true relation to God and strengthens our faith in the mercy and forgiveness of God. In later years, he formed friendships with Catholic writers such as G.M. Hopkins, F. Thompson, and A. Menel. So this is the information about the poet Coventry Patmore. And now I will read out the poem The Toys. My little son, who looked from the thoughtful eyes and moved and spoke in quite grown-up voice, having my law the 7 times disobeyed, I struck him and dismissed with hard words and unkissed. His mother, who was patient, being dead. Then, fearing lest his grief should hinder sleep, I visited his bed, but found him slumbering deep, with darkened eyelids and their lashes yet from his late sobbing wet. And I with moan, kissing away his tears, left others of my own. For on a table drawn beside his head, he had put within his reach a box of counters and a red wine stone, a piece of glass abraded by the beach, and 6 or 7 shells, a bottle with bluebells, and 2 French copper coins arranged there with careful art to comfort his sad heart. So when that night I prayed to God, I wept and said, Ah, when at last we lie with transient breath, not vexing thee in death, and thou rememberest of what toys we made our joys, how weakly understood thy great commanded good, then fatherly not less than I whom thou hast molded from the clay. Thou leave thy wrath and say, I will be sorry for their childishness, I will be sorry for this childishness. So this is the poem. Now what the poem describes about? The poem describes a sensitive parent's reaction to the harsh way in which he had punished a disobedient son. He had struck him for having disobeyed for 7 times and dismissed him from his sight. However, he felt sorry for the boy later and went to see him in his bedroom, hoping he will not find his grief difficult to bear. But when he went there, he realized that the boy was fast asleep, though his lashes were still wet with the sobbing that he had gone through before going to bed. The father felt immensely sorry for him and added his own tears to the wet face. He noticed that the boy had tried to console himself by putting on table beside his head a box of counters and a red strict stone, a piece of glass found on the beach, 6 or 7 shells, and a bottle with bluebells and 2 copper coins. The father prayed that night to God saying that in the same way, when human beings reach their end, He, meaning God, should be able to forgive them for constructing joys out of simple things and being mindless of God's instructions. So, this is the poem The Toys.